Hello, YouTube.
Hello, people of the internet.
So, last week and the week before we talked about Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
Disney World. In 2 weeks.
Somebody's excited.
2 weeks.
Cub Scouts.
I'm just very, very excited about my trip and getting to get away for a few days. But we'll talk about that when the time comes. Today, we are going to talk about something that we talked about talking about a couple of months ago now. Sea days! Yay! Talk about Disney Cruise Line this week. Probably talk about Disney Cruise Line next week. And then it'll be my trip stuff starting. So, sea days. We love a cruise with a sea day. At least
Absolutely.
a sea day.
The more sea days, the better.
Yes, which is why, we are booked on a 14-night cruise that has, eight sea days. So, sea days.
We like sea days.
I know a lot of people maybe don't like sea days.
People like to go places, like get off the ship. They think that it's too crowded on the ship on sea days because, when you're at sea, you would literally have the entire ship's population contained at sea.
But then there are also people who only go on a cruise to be on the ship. They never get off at any ports or anything. That's not us. We
get off at almost every port. Sometimes we won't get off at Nassau.
There are 2 times we've not gotten off at Nassau. One of them was on the Dream this last time because, as we've said, we were going to be there again a week later. But I feel like now, because we've gone to that beach, if we were going to be there twice in a week span, we'd go to the beach both days. Because
definitely. It was super fun.
It was a short walk.
I would even, there was a business right there that you could purchase a beach chair or
and Wi-Fi.
And Wi-Fi and an umbrella.
It was like $5.
Yeah, it was like $5. I think if we go again, or not if, when we go again, might spring for like the umbrella or 2, and the Wi-Fi. That's an added bonus that way, because on that trip.
We did log into your phone.
I did use my international plan, which was $10 for the day to use my regular plan. So it wasn't too crazy. But if I don't have to, it's really easy, and we can spend a little bit more time out there.
It just got really hot.
Yeah, and that's why I said we can probably spring for the chair, or not the chair, but the umbrella.
But once travel is allowed again, because last time I checked, Americans still weren't allowed into the Bahamas. Once things open back up, even before cruising, if the Bahamas say Americans can come again, if you're just staying somewhere in Nassau, Junkanoo Beach
is super fun. They had a little bar that was right there. One day, I keep on saying it, but one day I will get my little coconuts
every time you say you're gonna do it. And I asked you when we were in Key West, and you're like, no.
Yeah, I know. But one day I'll do it. But getting back to sea days, for us, we love the ships. We really do. And we also aren't crazy people in what we call them, that go up to the pool deck early and just stay there all day.
I can't do it. There's too many people. There's too many people.
And that goes into, we break it up. We don't like that many people. We want to explore the ship and have fun, especially if we're on a 3-night cruise, or a shorter one. But
which, again, with the Dream, we did essentially have a sea day because we couldn't dock at Castaway Cay. So because we didn't get off at Nassau and because we couldn't get off at Castaway Cay, we had 2 sea days, which was great because the larger ships have more to do than the Magic and the Wonder. But the Dream, it has shorter sailing, so you don't normally have as much opportunity to experience those things.
They only have 3 or 4 night.
They did add a 7-night, but I think that was supposed to be, it's canceled now type of thing. But it doesn't matter which of the 4 ships you're on, and eventually the Wish when it happens.
Yeah, because it's been delayed by 6 months due to the fact
shipyard.
The shipyard being closed down or reduced hours of personnel. So it's crazy the time we're living in, but
we're getting by.
Yeah.
Life's starting to get not normal, but maybe like halfway.
Yeah, I think we're about halfway. But getting into why we like sea days, we've kind of got a main list that we got going on. The first one is sleeping in. The big thing for me when it comes to sea days, I know you're always up at like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning to go run on deck 4. But for me, I like to sleep in. I don't feel as pressured at like hey, we have to be up at this time so we can get breakfast done, so we can get all the stuff we need to get the kids up, get them all ready in order to get off the ship right when we can to make the most of our
on
day.
A day we're getting off the ship, especially at like Castaway Cay, we have the kids up and dressed by 7:30 so we can get breakfast and off the ship.
Yeah, and when we're like talking about Nassau or like Grand Cayman, but when we're actually going ashore, those days we want to get out, we want to get breakfast, we want to go do what we're going to do out on the island or at the location and get back, because we've already spent an exorbitant amount of money in order to sail on these ships. One of the things that we try not to do is we try not to have an actual meal out
most of the time. But we did eat in Alaska because it was when are we going to get back to Alaska?
That's true. We had a salmon burger there, but
it was tasty.
Another thing is we won't all eat a meal. We'll get like a meal and we'll
share it,
or a snack
or something
in order to try the local fare. But we like to come back to the ship right around lunchtime so we can have that included lunch from either quick service or from cabanas.
Obviously, Castaway Cay we eat on the island because that's
it's included.
But we don't stay on Castaway Cay until the end. We're back on the ship by 2 o'clock because
and that's even late too.
Yeah, we're not huge beach people.
No.
And if you get back early enough, there's not too many people at the pool. And if you're on the Dream or the Fantasy, that means there's not too many people in line.
Yeah, so we at like Castaway Cay, we'll get off again. We'll do all of our stuff in the morning. We'll eat lunch at Cookies 2 at Castaway, and then we'll drop Christian off a little bit earlier than lunchtime for Scuttle's Cove because he likes to eat there. They also have a really cool splash area that we'd love to show you. However, due to it being in a secure programming state, you can't film there, which is understandable.
And I've never actually been in there, so.
Because Christian always wants you, but
I've dropped him off.
Yeah, but we'll do all the water stuff. Next time we'll have to ride around the island. Hopefully, I feel better than I did this last time.
Christian and I took a bike ride.
Yeah, and then we'll get back on the ship, do more water activities at our own convenience.
Hang out, and then Christian wants to go to the club.
Yep, and then Christian wants to go to the club. So, but I digress.
Okay.
Sleeping in is one of the biggest things. We can get up, do what we want to, and going back to the main point that I had, people getting there early in the morning. Don't be that person that goes up to the pool deck and tries to. Disney has stated that you're not supposed to do that. Will a cast member pull your stuff?
It depends.
No. Well, I've never seen them do it.
If it gets super busy.
Yeah, they will in that instance, but I mean, don't be that person.
Yeah.
Like, people want to go, they want to have a good time. Don't ruin it for people.
Yeah.
But sleeping in
it's sea days are the only chance you're really going to get. Like you said, I normally get up. I set my alarm for 5 o'clock. I get up, I go for a run. I get a workout in before everybody else in the room gets up and before most of the ship's awake too. But if we're on a 7 night, maybe like 1 or 2 of the 3 sea days, I'll sleep till like 6.
Yeah. And so a kind of caveat to that is we naturally wake up comparatively early to other people. So like when Miriya's out, Miriya just gets up early, but like when she gets back at like 6, I'll sometimes get up and I'll go do a quick run or a quick workout. And I'll be back before the kids are awake.
Yeah. Even in regular life, we get up early. Today we slept in till 6:40.
Oh, 6:40. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, that's sleeping in for us. So.
Yeah. But we're also early morning people, and the kids, Christian's usually up and out of his room at about like 7. Yeah. So
even on the weekends. So.
Yeah. But sleeping in is a very big bonus. I'll let you ramble.
So next, breakfast. Yes, we eat breakfast every day on the ship. However, sea days give you the chance to maybe take a more relaxed approach to breakfast. Not, we have to get up to Cabanas, we have to get our food, we have to eat quickly so we can get off the ship, or go do this, or whatever. Even though it was not technically a sea day, when we were on the Dream, we took the opportunity to eat breakfast at Enchanted Garden. We showed you that. The Fantasy does it one day as well. I think it's just one day per sailing. But, you know, it also gives you opportunity. Maybe we did on the Wonder, on the last full day, we went to breakfast at Triton's and enjoyed that. Would I do that on a day we were getting off the ship? No.
Probably not.
Unless it was a later docking day, maybe.
Yeah. Dependent on where you're going, because one of the things that we noticed was sailing from New Orleans to Key West. We did get in a little bit earlier than
a couple hours.
Yeah, a couple hours earlier, and that could have to do with our scheduled port time, a multitude of factors. Because I mean, if you really
also slightly closer than from
Galveston, so. But either way, we typically want to go kind of thing. One thing we'll have to do, I think, on the Panama Canal cruise is get just one day, put out the thing for room service, for breakfast,
we've never done
pastries. We've never done it. We'll see what it's like. We'll enjoy our pastries, and then probably go get the kids something from.
We have cereal and stuff.
Yeah.
Like cereal.
Yeah.
Who knows what they're gonna like a year from now? Who knows what they're gonna like a week from now?
Who knows what they're gonna like tomorrow?
That's true. They're gonna like mac and cheese tomorrow.
Accurate. Christian ate a whole bowl and then was complaining that his bowl was empty.
Yes. So breakfast, we love breakfast on the ship, and sea days are just a chance to have a more relaxed breakfast.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the next one.
Yep. So we've already kind of talked about this, but the pool. The entire population of the ship is on board, but that doesn't mean that everybody's at the pool. There are peak times where they're going to be more filled.
Yeah.
But still, we like to go to the pool, and on the bigger ships, we like to enjoy the aqueduct. That does get extremely busy, so I would say either in the morning or what we've talked about previously is right after dinner, go up to the pool, enjoy it. But
after first eating.
Yeah, after first eating dinner. But another thing to do is when we go up in the mid-morning after breakfast between lunchtime, or after lunch, is we like to go to the splash areas for the kids. Isabella loves Mr. Ray's splash area, as well as Dory's Reef.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, she loves those areas, and now she'll be big enough on our Panama Canal to go into Mickey's pool.
Well, it's not even so much big enough.
She's potty
trained was the issue, and well, I mean, she wasn't even 2 yet. So.
Yeah. So her and her brother will have fun going in there.
Yeah, and she can go to Aqua Lab.
That'll be fun.
If she hits growth spurt, she might even be tall enough
to
for
go on
the slide. So
yeah, that'll be really fun.
Christian loves the water slides.
Oh yeah.
So he likes to go up by himself and go down the slide.
But even if you're not a pool person, there's still plenty of other things to do when you have sea days.
Really sorry. Okay, so next is open house. We've talked about open house, how they have open house at, I think throughout the day they have open house at each of the clubs. You just have to really look at the navigator.
You have to plan it.
When.
Yeah.
So on sea days, normally in the morning, they have open house at the Oceaneer Club and the Oceaneer Lab, and occasionally at Vibe and Edge.
We've come up to Vibe and Edge a few times.
So, it's a good time for your kids that are Christian, in the club to show you what they like to do while they're there.
Yeah.
But it's also good for someone who's not quite old enough. Like Bella was not old enough on this cruise. She was a year and a half old, a little over.
Yeah.
And so she wasn't old enough to go to the club, but she loved to go to open house and just play. She loved to go down the slinky slide. That's pretty much what she liked.
Yeah, she liked to just run around and have fun. So it's a good introduction for kids that are younger than the required age. But it's also, like Mary said, a good time for the kids who are in the clubs to go and show you what they do when mom and dad aren't around. So
also an opportunity for adults to go check out the Star Wars room if you're on the Fantasy and the Dream, or check out the Marvel rooms.
Yeah.
Which are pretty cool.
Christian really loved the Marvel room on the Dream, it wasn't the Marvel room, it was the Disney Infinity. Yep. And he loved that.
He liked the Marvel room on the Wanderer because he'd go play video games.
That's true. Another fun thing for adults is if you go over to the Oceaneer Lab, there's an area where they have a sailing game, and adults can actually pilot or captain the different Disney cruise line ships
and crash in
Castaway Cay. It's always fun, but there's all kinds of stuff. And on the Dream, I'm pretty sure they had cooking class.
I think they do it once on all of them, but it was during open house, and it was everyone can cook from Ratatouille, and it was cookies. But Christian didn't want to do it because it was.
Yeah, it was.
There was just so many people.
I think they had their what they planned for and then some.
They had to move tables in from other places, and they were just. I don't think that they normally got that many.
Yeah. But
the funny thing is, now looking back on that, is it was like a month before the world shut down for COVID. So
yeah, that was very interesting.
Okay, anyway, moving on.
Another fun thing that you can do, and mind you again, because the whole ship's population is going to be there, meet characters. Yes. There are roaming characters that are not only face characters, but also ones that have masks on. But just they have the established meet and greet times, but
we've run into some fun characters.
Yeah, we have. We run into the princesses all the time, either in the halls when they're transitioning, and they will stop. They'll talk to you for a second. Obviously, they still have to go places, but it's always a good time. We ran into Sleepwalking Goofy coming out of breakfast.
Olaf a couple of times.
I ran into Belle on the last one.
Night.
Yeah,
and I ran into Cinderella. I've run into Rapunzel a couple of times.
Ariel a few times. Yeah. The cool thing is that when they stop and they interact with your little ones, I mean,
the kids are never with me when I run into.
Yeah, but they do. I've seen tons of little girls that are like, "Oh my goodness, it's Belle or it's Ariel."
Well, Bella had a great time meeting the characters, as you saw if you watched the cruise videos from this last trip. She'd sit down on their lap.
The other cool thing about the characters is sometimes they're in different garb. So when we missed Castaway Cay on the Dream due to waves, they still have all of their beach attire on, and then in Alaska, like we've seen, they had their fishermen, Mickey and Goofy, going on, and then there's also the new infamous Captain Minnie that you can go see.
Still have not met.
Nope.
You know who I ran into? Not actually ran into, that'd be bad. Who I saw when I was out for a run on deck 4? Mickey in like a tracksuit.
Oh yeah, if you get up there early enough, yeah.
No, it was in the afternoon.
Was it?
Yeah, it was one of the days I was running in the afternoon, and there were some cute little kids that just started walking. They were like toddling around on deck 4, and it's cute. Next, relax. I'm not very good at that, but the other ones are.
I personally like to relax when the kids are in the kids club and go down to deck 4, either port or starboard side, either one's fine, and just kind of chill, look out at the sea, and just kind of I've fallen asleep a few times there, but
me too.
It's less crowded than the pool deck.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it's shaded, so it's still just as hot, but
or just as cold.
Yeah, depending on the time of year. But it was, and when you're talking about Alaska, when you're going up through the fjords, that's always a really good place to be.
Yeah, there weren't as many people.
Yeah, there weren't as many people. Most people were up on like deck 9.
There were people, definitely.
Oh yeah.
But I was going back and forth between the two sides of the ship because
there was stuff happening.
It's not the same thing on both sides.
You're literally sailing through the fjord, and there's stuff happening on both port and starboard side.
Alaska was amazing, and I think doing Alaska as our first cruise was
it
was a good option.
It really was, because it worked out perfectly for timing for us, funding wise, and
and it was gorgeous.
Yeah, I would love to do it again.
Someday. We're gonna do it again someday. We don't know when, but it's gonna happen.
The next one, kind of like what we were talking about with breakfast, is sea days afford you the opportunity to have a lunch in a main dining room. Miriya and I did this on our last cruise, and it was wonderful.
Check back. Wonder Sea Day 2.
Mm-hmm. Sea Day 2. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. You get the food was right about the norm, but
I'd eat like 5 of those arancinis though.
Oh yeah, those arancinis are so good.
That's the only time we've done it. We've never done sit-down lunch on embarkation day or anything like that.
No.
So
maybe we'll do that eventually, but maybe I'll do it just to get the experience.
Normally just, let's go up, let's get our cabanas, let's go to the pool before there's too many people.
Yep. This last time we actually wore our swim stuff on.
Bella and I didn't, but
yeah, Christian and I did.
It's because swim trunks look like shorts.
Yeah.
But yeah, we enjoyed lunch in the main dining room. I think that the menu is the same every day except for embarkation day, so it's not a do it every day unless you want the same thing every day. But it's a good opportunity. Speaking of lunch, maybe the next one.
Yep. So room service. We talked about room service for breakfast. There's actually a bigger menu for lunch, and again, this is all it's included in your fare, so there's no additional cost. However, we do typically tip the room service cast member that comes
$1 or $2 per item.
Yeah. One of the things that we really enjoyed was the baked mac and cheese. That was really good. And
it was so good, but it was so hot.
Yeah. For the kids, we got them grilled cheese.
Yes. Grilled cheese and pizza.
And pizza. So you can get pizza, grilled cheese, chicken, cheeseburgers. You can also get
hot dogs.
That too. But buffalo wings.
Yeah, they were good. I'm not really a buffalo sauce
kind of
fan
person
normally, but the wings were really good.
I would definitely order those again. But
get the wings plain and order some barbecue sauce.
Yeah, that'd be. That's a really good idea. But
yeah,
it's a really good opportunity.
And a Mickey bar.
Yeah, and a Mickey bar and some cookies. We do cookies and milk. And before we order that, we go up to deck 9 or the pool deck, and we get some ice cream.
Yeah.
To make ice cream sandwiches.
There was someone in one of our last sailing pages though that said they'd like to order the Mickey bar and some cookies and put the Mickey bar between the cookies.
Interesting. We'll have to see how that works.
Another good option from room service. It's not on the menu. The Mickey bar's not on the menu either.
Yeah.
If your kid just wants a peanut butter and jelly, they have Uncrustables. You can get the cheese plate, which we have not gotten.
We haven't, but
we need to. There was just so much stuff we planned to get from room service on these last 2 cruises, and we ate so much food everywhere else that we had to set aside lunch that one day and say we're going to eat lunch from room service because otherwise we're not going to.
Yeah.
Because at that point the only thing we'd gotten from room service was a Mickey bar and
maybe some cookies.
We got some cookies.
Yeah. So because we planned to do it on the Dream, but
we had a plan and we were just so full.
Yeah. And that'll happen, but yeah.
The next option is activities around the ship. Well, yeah, I know. No brainer, right? But if you look at the Navigator app, there is so much going on sea days because they want to keep everyone, happy doing something or not doing something, do as much or as little. I will tell you right now, though, there's no way that you ever do everything on a cruise.
You don't
there's
have
no
much
way.
time because, like, sometimes we were running into issues where we're like, we really want to do this trivia, but there's also this happening, so we kind of had to either divide and conquer or prioritize what we wanted to do.
Yeah. So, you know, you can do as many things as you want, or you can just be like, hey, I really don't want to do anything except sit around today. So, you know, take an animation class, go to trivia, there's game shows, bingo.
Yeah, bingo was fun.
There's various scavenger hunts. Make your own scavenger hunt. We actually, we have a Disney Cruise Line photo scavenger hunt that I can put the
link.
No, not the link. The items in the description. There's obviously characters.
Midship detective.
I think that's another thing around. Here, yeah.
Yep.
One day on each cruise, there's Jack's diaper dash. So even if you don't have a baby that's crawling, it is fun to go watch the babies crawling because it is.
It really is. People are crazy, and correct me if I'm wrong, but once you get on the ship and you get onto the Navigator app, I'm pretty sure you have to do a little bit of fiddling with it, but you can actually see when things are planned to happen for the entire cruise.
You can.
So if you want to do...
Another good thing with that is characters. So say, oh, this character is meeting at 10 o'clock tonight. Yes, sometimes characters meet at 10 o'clock, and our kids are long asleep by then. You're asleep by then most nights. And so you're like, I don't want to meet Belle at 10 o'clock tonight. You can click on that character and it'll tell you when throughout the cruise they're meeting, which is great.
Yeah, so for the planning people, you do have to wait until you get on the ship, or you can kind of cheat it, not really guess, but I mean, you can look at previous navigators.
Well, yeah, but things could change.
Yeah, but you'll get a good idea of when things are and what is offered on that cruise. But again, just know that things can change.
Yeah, so. Another activity is the Mickey 200, which was a lot of fun. We did that on the Wonder. We made a car out of a potato and carrot and raced it. It was fun.
It was super fun. Let loose the produce.
Yes.
We kind of touched on this one, but just walk around deck 4 because you're not at port. You can actually walk around the bow and stern of the ship.
Well, if you're on the bigger ships, you can.
That's what I was about to say. Yep. But on the smaller ships, when you're docked, you can't walk around the front or...
No, you can walk around the back. You can't walk around the front.
Close enough.
Or also, as we found out, if you are sailing to or from New Orleans, if you are still on the Mississippi River, you cannot go around the front of the ship.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You can't.
Because when we were on the last night on the Wonder, Christian and I, when we were waiting for the, I can't think of the name of the show, the See You Real Soon, I know that's not what it is, but,
Till we meet again.
Yeah, that thing. So we were waiting for it to start, and it starts at like 10:15 or something, and so we were walking around on deck, and so we'd walk. You know, you're supposed to go in one direction, but then we had to turn around and go back the other direction because we couldn't go around the front of the ship. I mean, we could have walked through the forward, but anyway. Deck 4 is a great place to sit. It's a great place to walk around. Like we've touched on a couple times, we like to go for an after-dinner walk, even if it's just the two of us.
Yep.
Which is what it's going to be from now on because they're both going to be.
They're both going to be in the club. Oh yeah.
Want to do the next one?
Sure. So another good one on the bigger ships is Goofy Golf. Christian and even Isabella, when she was itty bitty, like to play mini golf up on deck 11, 12, one of those things. Maybe 13. But
been a bit.
Goofy Golf is super fun. You start at hole 1 on, I believe it's the starboard side. And then you loop around the back of the... It's on the starboard side, trust me. And you loop around the back, I think it's like 9 holes?
Yeah.
It's like 9 holes. It's super fun. It's got 2 different sets of Goofy feet. You got Goofy and Max.
And there's Max. Max goes the straightforward way, and Goofy goes, the Goofy way.
but it's super fun. The last time we played it, it was super windy up on deck.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Though. It was windy.
It was.
And Bella tried to steal a golf ball.
Bella did try to steal a golf
She
ball.
She handed it to me afterwards when we went to the bathroom, and I just put it back.
Yeah, but it's super fun. It's again included. But
the golf balls are golden.
Yeah, that's in case they go over. You have an over anxious putter.
Yes. But the golf is fun. I will say though on sea days that it could get busy.
Yeah.
So we like to go like first thing when it opens, or even at night. Because we did it on the first night. We
did, and be aware that there are operating hours with it. If it's outside of
operating, there's no golf clubs.
Yeah. No golf clubs, no golf club.
You can walk around though and like take pictures and look at the holes and stuff, but
you can't bring your own stuff either. Sorry. We kind of touched on the next one. I'll let you.
Kinda. So, Midship Detective Agency on the Dream and the Fantasy. There's a detective type game. You can sign up on deck 2 and deck 5. Get a map of the locations around the ship, and you get a badge.
Yep.
And you need that badge to, make the pictures not be pictures anymore.
Yep. If you walk around, obviously, if you're playing the game, you'll know exactly which magical pictures you're supposed to go to. But
there's a magnifying glass on the floor, which is where you pretty much have to stand.
Yeah, in order to make it work, you kind of have to be right there and line up things. So Christian got the hang of it towards the end of the cruise, but for the most part, I kind of had to
He was also
get him
finally tall enough, because he wasn't tall enough to have it like activate right on the fantasy, and then this time he was.
And for like me, I have to have it like down my belly button, but it's kid friendly.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
There's multiple different.
3, I think.
Yeah, it's like
3 mysteries. There's puppies. There's. I don't know. We've done all 3 though.
Yeah.
It is a fun game. I will tell you now, if you are not the walking type, you will not enjoy this game.
Because you go from literally deck 9 forward to deck 2 aft.
Yeah, so you need to go to certain places based on what the mystery says to get certain clues. So it's not, we're on this deck and then maybe up 2 or 3 decks. No, you go up and down and up and down all over the place. Especially if you're doing more than one mystery.
Yeah.
And at one point, I think we were on like deck 5, and we went up to deck 9 maybe, and then it was back to deck 5, but on the other side, and so...
And another fun thing is dealing with deck 5, or no. Usually it's like deck 3 or 4. You got to think about which path you're going to take in order to get to the locations. Do you want to go all the way down, or do you want to kind of...
Do I want to walk aft and then down, or do I want to walk down and then aft?
Yeah. It's a lot of, well, for the adults, it's a lot of strategic. How do I get from point A to point B?
It's a lot of fun, though, and it's got Muppets characters, and it's got
a lot
Mickey.
And the other cool thing is when you're not playing the game, you can walk up to these different magical pictures, and it'll activate.
It won't activate the game, but it'll move. I think
there's a couple of them that.
Yeah, I have a video of the Mexico one.
Because Christian kept on every time we went down, he would always want to activate that one.
It's fun. They're fun to see.
Yeah, they're super fun.
And a lot of the times, people are really surprised about it if they've never seen it.
Yeah.
So, Midship Detective Agency, it's fun. It's a good way to get exercise.
Yeah, it's super fun, and you don't have to play it all in one time. So you can start it on one day, and then you can continue on the next day or however you want.
You're going to do that, though, be aware. It does have operating hours as well. So someone that was on one of our sailings, I think, said they went to try and finish it, and it was after 10 o'clock, and so they don't work anymore after 10 o'clock, so they couldn't finish the game.
I did not know that. Interesting.
I think the hours are like 8 to 10, so 8 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, there's that.
The last one we have, though, is probably the most fun one that we've done on a sea day, and that is Star Wars Day at Sea. Obviously, they have, like it sounds, Star Wars things all throughout the day. Now, this does start the night prior.
Yes.
At midnight? Is that when
I think it was like 10 o'clock, but we were all asleep by then.
We didn't know about
that was going to happen. So now we know for next time.
They have it to where the Empire will take over the cruise ship that you're on. So for Star Wars Day at Sea, it's the Fantasy. And from then on out, it's just overnight while you're asleep, the Fantasy with all things Star Wars. And like we were talking about meeting characters, you have roaming Star Wars characters all day. Some of them rare. We ran into Ahsoka Tano multiple times.
Yeah, which was awesome because my sister really likes Ahsoka, and because of that, and over the past probably like 2 years now, I've really come to like Ahsoka. I have watched Clone Wars in its entirety. I really enjoyed the show. It's not for kids. I mean, it's for kids, but it's not just for kids.
Can't wait for the Bad Batch to come back. That'll be really good.
So, we met Ahsoka. I ran into her with Christian and Bella. And then I ran into her again later, but you had the kids, and she asked where my younglings were, which was fun.
And then the characters will always they're more than willing to take a holo scan.
Yes.
With you.
I took a self-initiated holo scan with some Imperial officers because no one else was around.
And then there's Boba Fett that walks around.
He's rude.
But
in a funny way.
Yeah, it's super fun. And then the food is themed for the day. You saw our videos on what we would order on the Fantasy, which included our Star Wars Day at Sea.
There was Star Wars trivia that we went to.
Yep, there's superfan trivia.
We knew a fair amount at that.
The other cool thing is that we got to meet Chewie, and we got to meet Darth Vader, and R2-D2, and C-3PO.
Yeah.
Yep, those were ticketed events, though.
Yes, but
it's
not it's a just secure ticket type thing. You don't have to pay extra for it.
Christian also did Jedi training.
He did.
On the ship, and that one was really cool. That we talk about Disney magic kind of thing, but
Darth Vader.
Yes, Christian up until that point didn't really want to do it. We asked him multiple times when we were getting checked in.
See, when he wanted to do it was when he saw it at Disney World,
and right before we got on the ship. And so what I did was, once we got on the ship, actually I forgot, and then we were eating lunch. I was like, uh-oh, ran down to guest services and asked them if they had any more openings, which they did. So we were able to secure Christian.
The first one of the day too, which was cool.
It was super fun.
You know who? Well, now looking back, a character that I would meet, but then didn't because I kind of watched Rebels, but now I've actually seen it. I'd meet Sabine and Ezra, but
they were walking.
We saw them, but we didn't meet them.
And it's super fun whenever like a rebel would see an Imperial officer or like a stormtrooper, they'd always like duck around the corner, hiding.
Well, they're in character. We also met Zam.
We did meet
Zam.
I met Zam. You met Zam.
The thing with Zam was I met her up on the pool deck, and then she was down in the atrium on deck like 5, and she was just kind of like hanging out, but I don't know if people just didn't know who she was, or I don't know, but she didn't have a whole lot of people approaching her, maybe because she tried to kill Padme or something, but Star Wars Day at Sea is a lot of fun, and I think we'd all really love to do it again, once cruising's back and once Star Wars Day at Sea is back, obviously. We're all big Star Wars fans here, so it's a good, fun day. Now, there are other things to do on the ship on sea days. This is just what we like to do on sea days. What do you like to do on sea days? Have you cruised and we left something out that you love to do and you think we should try next time? Or is there something that we really like that you don't like? Or, if you have not cruised before, which of these sea day activities do you think you would like to do best? So that's our sea day-ness. We look forward to having more sea days in the future, especially those 8, I think it's 8, on Panama Canal next November. So looking forward to it. I'm just looking forward to being back on a cruise ship, really. Like I said at the beginning, next week we will probably be talking about something cruise line. Haven't decided yet. And then in 2 weeks, you will be treated to my pre-Disney World trip thoughts and me packing. And then for probably like five weeks after that, have my trip to watch and, you know, see what it's like at Disney World right now, and how I feel being at Disney World again, and how I feel taking a trip by myself for the first time in 6.5 years. So, Howard's helping Christian defeat a great flawn in Kingdom Hearts 3 right now. With that being said, we will see you all next week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to us ramble. Let us know what you want us to talk about, and we'll see you next week.